as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you with your buying decisions and giving you that local perspective to local business owners right here in Tampa Bay. And we are 8 years on air now, real excited, real happy with the growth, and lots of folks reaching out to our Consumer Advocate Hotline. That's one of the biggest things we're really pushing right now is to have you reach out to our hotline. We want to connect you to our 50-plus show sponsors, expert contributors, 80 categories of consumer advocate content and advice. We bring on local area business owners, entrepreneurs, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, tech experts, self-defense experts, and on and on. Lots of ways we can help you. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point you may need it. 813-750-0550. You can call or text the hotline. It's an off-air number, 813-750-0550. Call or text, off-air line. Also, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors, their contact information, previous shows. By the way, our YouTube channel has over 1,200 videos on our YouTube channel now. So subscribe, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. Plus, we have our podcast out there. You can connect on podcasts as well. So we got a great lineup for you today. I want to thank our sponsor as well, Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. Whether you're planning a local or long-distance move, reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, they are a first-class organization, and they did a great job with my family's move to our new lake house. Brothers Easy Moving, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hot property listing on Bel Air. We got a $1.2 million listing, 117 14th Street, Bel Air, Pinellas County, on the beach. Beautiful property here. 117 14th Street in Bel Air. This is a almost 2,800 square foot home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, double lot, private pool, gourmet kitchen, and so many upgrades to mention. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we got a great lineup for you today as well. Later in the show, you'll be hearing from Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man. Fred Muth back on the show, longtime friend of the program, as well as Dan MENIKHEIM coming up. In studio, we've got Nathan Ginther. Nathan, welcome back in. Give us a little teaser of what you're going to talk about, my friend.
Sure. Thanks, Brandon. Great to be here. We're going to be talking about the big Windows 11 launch announcement that came out from Microsoft today. So a couple of goodies to talk about the, what is set to be probably for the next 5 years, the major platform for business and home users. And then a little cybersecurity training story and a couple of other goodies on how to protect yourself there.
Awesome. Protecting yourself is such a key element these days. You hear about hackers hacking in with the rise of cryptocurrencies. It's happening more than people realize.
We get usually 2 to 3 inquiries a week from outside parties who contact us saying that they've had some sort of breach incident or ransomware. While we love helping people respond to those things, I say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
There you go. Yeah, so whether you're getting bugs in your computer systems, or bugs in your home or commercial buildings, we got a solution for you. We've got Dan MENIKHEIM on the show, ProHealth Pest Control. Hey, Dan.
Yes, call me for your bugs for your home, not your computer. Leave that to the other experts. I am not your guy for that. I can tell you that, Brandon.
Yeah, right. It's like a specialty. Luckily, you're a specialist in that area, and Nate Ginter is a specialist with Vine IT on that side. So, yeah, what are you seeing out there, Dan? A lot of times people are worried about chemicals, and I know you guys are using more natural type solutions when you can.
Yeah, rain. In the subtropical climate, the more rain, the more bugs. We're seeing a lot of bugs, a lot of ants, spiders, termites, roaches, the typical stuff for this time of year. What we like to do is we like to use organic type baits where it's harmless to humans, pets, or plants. And what we do is we'll bait around like the edges of your fence area or in the shrubs, and it'll track the ants and roaches that are already there. They'll eat the bait, and they will no longer be alive. So that's how we keep the products away from you and your pets. That's how we keep you bug free and safe.
Yeah, bug-free and safe. And in Tampa Bay in Florida, I've heard it said also that termites cause more damage than wind, flood, rising waters, flood, anything. Termite can cause a lot of damage to real estate properties.
Yeah, and today with the shortage of wood and stuff like that, I couldn't even imagine the amount. If you took today's value of wood products, it would have to be triple, or which is hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And one of the things that a lot of people that are new, moving to here, they're from they don't realize that a termite program and termite protection is part of a home maintenance. And the insurance companies do not cover termite loss. I had a customer the other day doing a termite inspection on a property they were buying. They're like, maybe if they eat the kitchen, we'll get a whole new kitchen. Like thinking that, if they find termite damage coming because they had a block home or whatever. I said, no, that's actually not the case. Termites are not covered by your insurance company.
Wow.
They're going to tell you we don't cover it. So, termite protection is it's a huge deal in Florida for sure.
Yeah, and that's a big mistake to make, relying or sitting back thinking you can rely on your insurance to cover that, and that can be a challenge for people. We're talking with Dan MENIKHEIM here, ProHealth Pest Control, and it's a family-run business. You and your lovely wife Melissa run the business together. Talk a little bit about some of your success strategies that you've done over the years. You have a highly respected business. You're members of the Pinellas Realtor Organization and others. What's helped you guys grow your business over the years, Dan?
Well, I think it's the people we have around us. If you come to work for ProHealth Pest Control, you actually become part of the family. We respect others. We know you work hard. We work hard too, and we're gonna help you out. And we hire the same type of people that are like us. So we know we all work hard. But we also we hire people who enjoy their job. So everybody that works for ProHealth Pest Control is really customer. We want to help people, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do this for, and we enjoy that. So, but for doing that over the past 11 years, being in pest control, there's a lot of repeat clients, a lot of great 5-star reviews, treating people like we want to be treated. That's how we operate. So. That's why we're on your show, probably. That's why you reached out to us. So
that's right.
We've been working with you for years. So
that's right. The golden rule: doing to others if you'd have them doing to you, and that's
absolutely.
That's a key to success right there. And talk to me a little bit about. Sometimes I get questions about bats. Are they in Tampa Bay, or do you see them in certain scenarios? And then some people also say it's a good way to. I've actually heard they say you put these houses kind of like a birdhouse, out by the water and whatnot, and they'll eat up a lot of the bugs. Is that true?
Yeah, that actually is true. Some people will actually do bat houses.
Yep.
And they'll actually we do exclusionary work around people's homes and stuff like that. When it comes to bat wildlife, although we know a lot about them, we do have people that can handle that specifically. One of the things, bats are a protective species that you can't just. I can't just go out there and kill them,
Right.
So, but yeah, no, they're super beneficial. Super beneficial. They do my job for me, especially with the flying insects, because they eat a lot of flying insects. So they consume a lot of pests out there. So yeah, they're.
And the same thing with most types of snakes, especially if you live in a residential neighborhood. Don't kill the snakes that you see unless it's some kind of a rattler or something. You might want to take them to a facility or something along those lines. But a lot of the black snakes and et cetera, Dan, sometimes people have a misconception of, we got to kill them and beat them over the head with a broom. Those guys are out there killing a lot of the rats, aren't they?
I got an emergency phone call today from the wife. There was a rat swimming in the pool.
Okay.
And I was like, what I like to do around my house and for my customers' houses is rats aren't that beneficial, but the snakes will eat them, right?
Right.
But I don't like to. We can, and if they get in people's homes, we certainly remove them. But I keep my house sealed. I don't like to poison them because I want the rats to eat them, or I mean the snakes to eat them and the birds eat them.
Right.
But sometimes if you poison them, you poison them, and then a bird eats it, and then there's that secondary poison effect on it.
Right.
So, a good way to keep those out is, I definitely would not kill a black snake. That's part of it. They'll eat those things, and just make sure your house is sealed up.
Right. Sealing up the house. That's a big part. I think a lot of people don't realize there's little places where, squirrels can get in the attic. You see these different things. I remember I had a property that we were selling one time, and it was just really bad. He had a lot of, it was either squirrels or rats in the attic, and man, you could just hear it, and it gets to a point sometimes where you can smell it too. Yeah,
any pest professional that's been in the business for longer than a year, I would say, you don't even have to, I could just walk in the attic and I could tell whether there's rodents there or not.
Right.
Because they don't control their bodily function, and you could smell the urine from a rodent. So, we all have it at ProHealth Pest Control, and probably every pest control company, as long as they know what they're doing and smelling, you could smell it, and they're just nasty, and it's something you don't want in your house, And
it's going to cause damage to your ductwork.
Oh yeah, that's one of our referral sources. Our AC companies that do ductwork, because they won't. They stop when they see that the rats have been chewing on it. They'll stop and they'll be like, "We're not going to go up there and replace the ductwork until the rats are gone." And I don't blame them. Rats carry a lot of diseases.
Right.
I don't blame anybody for not wanting to stick their face where there's rats. So.
Yep, absolutely. Dan MENIKHEIM here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ProHealth Pest Control. What else is topical this time of year? We're kind of in hurricane season, too. We always like to have those PSA-type announcements, when it comes to hurricanes. Get ready for it.
Yeah, well, the hurricanes, listen, more water, more bug problems. Take care of your bug problems now. The one thing that I definitely see for us, some people think, if it rains for 5 days straight, well, when your ground gets saturated, you're going to get bugs in your home, right? So, and it's termite season. So there's so many things that we do. Termite season, we have alternative to tenting. So a lot of people, they can't really go anywhere. They don't want to leave their home. We do have alternatives to all types of termite stuff. You want to keep your house as sealed up as possible, whether it's for rodent activity or for rain getting in. So.
Right. All right, good stuff. Well, Doug Levi talks about when it comes to the insurance side and some of the losses that we've seen. So Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, with those losses, but with when it comes to ProHealth Pest Control, what's the best contact info, Dan? Where can they find you? What's the best way to reach out?
ProHealthPestControl.com. Right there, you can see our reviews, read a little bit about us, and then our website will have our phone number, and it'll have our email address if you just want to reach out that way.
Awesome.
ProHealthPestControl.com.
ProHealthPestControl.com. Thanks so much, Dan. We appreciate you calling in, man.
Yep. Have a good week.
All righty. Take care. All right. Dan MENIKHEIM, longtime friend of the program, ProHealthPestControl.com. Find him online. So from bugs with your home to bugs in your computer and your systems and all that good stuff. Nathan Ginter coming up next. Chief Technology Officer at Vine IT, VineIT.com. And also later in the show, Fred Muth, Tin Man, back on the program, our contractor, expert contributor for all things contracting and screens and aluminum here on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. If you are investing as well, text investor to our hotline. We'd love to talk to you. We've got some off-market properties, great opportunities out here in Tampa Bay. 813-750-0550. Call or text the hotline, 813-750-0550. And you can get in touch with our team and our show. We'll make sure we get you in touch with one of our expert contributors, no matter what you need, inside the house, outside the home, lots of home services, attorneys, CPAs, financial advice, of course, real estate, credit, finance, lots of ways we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we'd like to talk about our listings on air. We've got 1200 Gulf Boulevard. This is a $2.67 million property, condominium listed on Clearwater Beach, the Meridian Condo, unit number 1805. Beautiful property on the beaches. You've got basically a 360-degree view from this beautiful property here. 4,000 square feet, 3-bedroom suites. You have an office/den and Gulfside balconies. Beautiful property. And the best part is it's got amenity-style, resort-style living here. 1200 Gulf Boulevard. You walk out back. You got a barbecue area. You got a pool, private beach access, sugar sand beaches, dolphin-filled waters, beautiful Clearwater Beach right here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we have our technology expert, Nate Ginter, in studio here. Nate, what's happening in your world, my friend?
So today was a huge day that only comes around, sometimes once, maybe twice a decade. Microsoft had a big launch announcement for a new product they are calling Windows 11. It is the upgrade. The last upgrade that came out was Windows 10, and that was actually, time flies. That was actually 7 years ago now.
Wow,
that came out. So it's actually been that long. The new product launch. There's always a lot of glitz and glamour and big claims that everything is a revolution. I've done a little bit of research on this. There was a build of it. What they call a build is basically a preview release that got out onto the internet. So some people have already seen what it's going to look like at launch and how it functions. There are some reports of small speed increases. I always take those with a grain of salt because, again, this hasn't actually come out with the one that's going to be available to download for consumers themselves. So there's some cool features that are coming, though. Probably the biggest one that's a big shift in paradigm for Microsoft is actually a change to their Windows Store that's going to accompany Windows 11, and that is that they're going to take and have a platform for running inside of the Windows 11 operating system other manufacturers' apps. And what that means is your favorite Android or Mac OS apps will actually run inside of Windows 11. So it's a familiar concept if you've heard of Chromebooks, these kind of purpose-built devices where you're basically launching a couple of applications like a big phone. But that's going to kind of bridge a couple of gaps for them. So where that's exciting for some content lovers is things like Instagram right now that don't have a native app. In Windows, you have to use the web interface, and it looks a little weird in a browser.
Okay.
Native Instagram functionality. So, if you're creating content on a laptop or a portable tablet,
I see. Okay.
There's going to be some options there for doing some really cool stuff.
Nice.
For the average business owner, probably not a ton there. There are some things though. I have different companies that sometimes have different applications that they give to their clients, and the ability for them to not just only have them on a phone but on a larger device is something that has a niche appeal to it. I'm sure.
Right. So would that be on this new device that I just got yesterday?
No. So it's not out yet. So this was a launch announcement. They're claiming that it should be released within the next quarter.
Got it.
My guess is it'll be out in probably a month or two. The build that they released seemed pretty mature.
Okay.
As far as those things go, it's always hard to judge for something they didn't officially sanction. But the release also should be free to everyone. So I've been asked this a couple of times with this announcement impending, hey, should I hold off on buying something until it ships with Windows 11? And I tell them no. It's the kernel, which is the basic operating system code that it's built on, is still very similar to what you're running in Windows 10.
Nice.
And actually, I advise for business users, try to hold off on upgrading until at least the first patch or two come out for Windows 11.
Okay.
There's always, they try to do their best to make all the drivers for your printers and scanners, and sometimes people have different even webcams and things that they'll have plugged into for their daily business function. Those drivers often get overlooked, especially from some of the cheaper manufacturers are out there. So if you ordered something cheap and effective off of Amazon, they might not get to that right away. So that might be a couple of months down the road until there's a release for those things. And just in general, I love Windows, and as a gamer, I'll probably be installing that on my home system pretty quickly to test it out. But even my work laptops and things, I'll be leaving that until I see it tested and function well in the wild. Whenever you do a full operating system upgrade like that, there's always a potential for data loss. So I always tell people, let's make sure we've got those files backed up. I know when we're looking to migrate your computer, we need to make sure we've got a copy of everything. You want to make sure if you use Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, any of those things, just store your really important stuff there. Make sure that it's somewhere else, because there is the possibility whenever you install the new operating system that it breaks even being able to get back into the old one. We see that in the wild with Microsoft about 7% of the time overall. So most of the time it goes very smoothly. When it doesn't, though, you could be faced with the possibility of needing to spend a lot of money to get things back if you don't have them somewhere else. Whereas if they're on an easy to restore from place or on a flash drive, you can just copy them right back over.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. We're talking with Nate Ginter here. He's the Chief Technology Officer at Vine IT, vineit.com. And Nate, I want to ask you a little bit more. We're coming into the tail end of this segment.
Sure.
But I want to ask you a little bit more about hacking. It seems to be such a big thing. People get hacked so much. You also find it identity theft is a big killer. People's credit gets hit so many times. And I want to go through some of those different A's, B's, and C's there. So
with us and the businesses that we function as outsourced IT for, it used to be all about price and how fast can you make everything. Those are the second and third conversations. Now, number one is now always security, making sure that those sensitive areas are protected. So I tell people one of the first things you want to do is take a look at your business or even your personal data and figure out where is my data being stored that I'm concerned with, and then take some steps to make sure that that's protected for you. Identifying where they are is the most important part.
Yeah, hacking, identity theft, prevention, and some of those ideas. I want to also talk a little about cryptocurrency, such a big area of business and technology life these days. More with Nate Ginter after this quick break. And when we come back as well, we got Rotary Club of Sarasota Sunrise donates beach-accessible wheelchairs to Leto Beach, our feel-good story of the day coming up. We'll be right back after the short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Ryan.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Is something that can be it was behind a wall almost, as if once it's gone you'll never ever have a chance to do anything.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Maybe there's a little bit of trackability with this thing.
Brandon,
I can hear you.
I got Fred right here.
Okay, cool. Coming right back, Fred.
Some of the
Hey.
can be decrypted, and then the other thing that can happen.
Five, four, three, two, one. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Chad Irrigation for all of your irrigation needs, sprinkler systems, and more. Victor and his team do such a great job. Shout out to Victor from Chad Irrigation. Access lake water and, of course, well water, city water for all of your irrigation needs. Reach out to Victor and his team. They do a great job. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they were a first-class organization to work with on my home. And I highly recommend Chad Irrigation. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you so you can take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got a property out in Brandon area, 1211 North Parsons Avenue in Brandon. This is a property that we have listed out in East Hillsborough County. It's a chiropractor office. Now, this office is a prime location, corner location, great location, business and clients all in one place. You also have an opportunity to buy the business and the customer list and the equipment, all included for the low price of $249,000. $249,000, 1211 North Parsons Avenue. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so we got Nate Ginter in the house, Chief Technology Officer at Vine IT, and also joining us as well, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man.
Well, Nate, if they call me the Tin Man, you got to know how far back I go. We got this idea in our head that technology should never change. Then if technology changes, you would be without a job. So let it change. Just don't let me change with it as quick as it's changing. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. I'm asked a lot if all the automation and the AI conversation, artificial intelligence, comes up all the time, and I say no. The things that I spend my time fixing change, but the desire for somebody else to handle that problem for you. If you're a business owner, you want to be working on your business, not in your business, and dealing with common IT problems and helping people do their daily job is something that is definitely in the business scenario there, for sure.
Sure. And I know, for example, myself included, we're busy with our business, and then one little thing goes wrong with that technology, and we're pretty cool people. We freak out at that point. Man, it's a freak show when something breaks.
It can be.
You just don't know what to do. Where's this coming from? You can't fix it with nuts and bolts and screwdrivers. You just have to call a guy like you.
I have used a boot occasionally on a few devices that were wayward. Well, one of the things though that's very interesting about what you said, with a lot of the platforms that are out today, you can really make it so that you don't have sort of these central points of failure for your whole staff. So you can't ever stop a machine from working, but you can really build a lot of resiliency into your business and make it so that if God forbid you do have a problem with one machine, it's very easy to pop over to another one and continue with your daily workflow. So that kind of consulting is a thing that we do a lot for people. And it's funny, I'm always able to show people after a year, hey, look how much less downtime we had. Look at how many employees we didn't have just sitting around.
Yeah.
Because I tell people all the time, if you're using old technology, you're actually paying to you for the privilege of using that old horrible technology.
Yeah.
You're losing it in lost wages and productivity for sure.
And efficiency,
Yeah, sure,
absolutely.
Sure. About 20 years ago, I met up, maybe 25 years ago, I met up with my concrete man on a job site, and I pull up, and I got a 4-foot level with a bubble in it. He pulls up with a laser machine. I go, what's that? He says, put that thing away, will you?
Yeah. Things change. That's the one constant, right? Is always change. Technology's changing. And I'm interested to get your opinion also on AI, since Fred brought it up, or someone brought it up, the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so there's kind of two things. So AI is a concept. When we think of it from sci-fi movies and the things that we've seen, we see them as these autonomous sort of entities, some sort of general intelligence that can talk and behaves similar to a person. When you hear AI from most of the modern tech firms, it's a slightly different concept from that. It's basically code that's built for a purpose that actually enhances itself as it goes, but you're not going to one day have a chess program that all of a sudden decides to paint you a picture. That's not what they're working on developing. Now there are some places, but that's a very niche field. Facebook is not interested in building an algorithm that wants to play words with friends with you. They're interested in building an algorithm that's going to analyze how you play words with friends friends, and how they can somehow sell that to an advertiser to create a weird linkage that they didn't notice before.
Right.
That maybe this algorithm would notice for them and get better at doing it over time without intervention.
Yeah. Is that kind of like Watson?
Yes, very, very similar. So one of the interesting things about Watson, there's a big debate on whether that was actually AI, because they changed the code for Watson in between the matches. So it literally in the same series. So the first time Kasparov,
that was chess match.
Yes. In the original chess match with Gary Kasparov, it was a big deal when I was growing up.
Yep.
He lost in a series of, I think, 7 matches. He lost 4. But in between each match, they were refining what the machine was doing. So they didn't have separate matches with him. They were literally changing code. And I said, well, there's not a lot artificial about a bunch of coders making a better chess program.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, man. Okay, and we were talking about hacking, identity theft, and a little bit about crypto as well.
Sure. So 2 things. We had mentioned briefly, knowing where your important data is a big deal, and then the second big deal with it is backing it up. So in every case where you see ransomware and you hear about a big payout, the big payout happens almost 100% of the time because they didn't have a backup system that could rapidly get them back operational again. Sometimes they don't have a backup at all, which is, always the worst case. Knowing what your restoration time for your company looks like, so if somebody gets a hacked email and they delete all of your email, you should be able to restore that all within 24 hours. There should be no reason to pay for that. If you've got an important program that you're using, you should typically have what they call an RTA, or restore time, of under 48 hours. And there are things out there that can accomplish that for you. Those platforms used to be tougher sells. They've gotten very cheap. Pennies on the dollar from when I started doing this 15 years ago. And not only that, they give you this new sense of security that the ransomware stuff that's out there isn't going to affect it. Also, I was just at an insurance convention last week that deals heavily in cyber liability and ransomware. They're basing everything on 2019 data right now, but people are going to find when they go to renew their cyber policies for business this year, ransomware is going to be 5 times more expensive than it was, and that's based on data that's already a year old.
Right.
Once they start factoring this in, it's going to be a whole new era of insurance. So I say, lock your insurance policies in for as long as you can right now. As long as they'll write you a 2 or 3 year policy, take it 100%. And also make sure that your cyber liability policy includes ransomware payments, because they don't always. That's a separate rider for most of the policies. Wow. When it comes to those sorts of things, it's best to make sure you're doing your homework with a good agent that's familiar with writing those sorts of policies.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick on the cryptocurrency, that's a challenge as well. We talked about the keys that the FBI were able to kind of somehow backdoor and pull that money out.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of a debate about exactly how they did it, but cryptocurrency, when you hear about Bitcoin or any of those coins, it's a very simple thing. You've got a lockbox that has a key to it, and that key is a string of numbers that's very complicated, and if you never give it to anybody, it should be uncrackable. In this case, the FBI actually was watching again, they have a number for the lockbox as well. They watched that lockbox sent out money to a couple of actual bank accounts. At some point, they want to pull it out and get real money. They intercepted 80% of the bank accounts that they tried to send it to. The ransomware decryption is something slightly different. Same concept. They turn your files into a lockbox, and there's a key to that.
Wow.
That key, sometimes, if they use those systems that do that, these bad actors, they're companies that get paid just like we get paid to help people.
Yep.
So if they use a cheaper version of these platforms, sometimes the FBI has already broken the key to that lockbox, and they can go, "Oh, we've seen this one before.
Got it.
We can unlock your files with this master key we have."
Got it.
So it's interesting stuff for sure. I would say don't depend on that. That's a very low probability thing when it comes to unlocking ransomware.
Right, exactly. Yeah, talk to your insurance guy, get that in place. Talk to Nate Ginter, VineIT.com, Chief Technology Officer, VineIT.com. He's our local expert right here in Tampa Bay. Support the local economy, support the Salem radio family, and support the Consumer Quarterback Show by doing so. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate the insights here, man. That's good stuff.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. and VineIT.com. We make it real simple. There's a schedule a consultation. We talk to anybody for free, and even if we're not a good fit for you, I make sure you leave with a good piece of advice or two.
That's awesome. Good stuff. We appreciate that. We got to take a quick break here. When we come back, Fred Muth, the Tin Man on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's not a cookie-cutter hotel. A lot of the hotels are the same. This one has 90% of the rooms that are overlooking the beaches. 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant, and 7 days a week live entertainment. Bill Maher Beach Resort, Clyde Smith, longtime friend of the program. Make sure you book directly with him. He's got great discounts and opportunities for the Consumer Quarterback Show listeners out there. BillMaherBeachResort.com. Make sure you let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And every day we like to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
So this is a local story. The club of there's a Rotary Club of Sarasota donates beach accessible wheelchairs to Leto Beach, Sarasota. So the club has donated 2 beach accessible wheelchairs to Sarasota County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources that will be available to Leto Beach visitors free of charge. A total of 5 beach accessible wheelchairs have been donated by the club, with 3 chairs donated to Siesta Beach over the last year. Celebration presenting the club's donation was held at Leto Beach on Tuesday, making Sarasota's beaches open to visitors and residents of all abilities is a priority, and we applaud the Rotary Service of Sarasota Sunrise for providing these wheelchairs, enabling everyone to enjoy Leto Beach, said Virginia Haley, president of Visit Sarasota County. And it goes on to talk about how, nothing can restrict the activities of a family more than having a member who's wheelchair bound. So these wheelchairs enable people to visit the beaches. Of course, if it's sandy terrain, it's such a privilege for folks to be able to do that. So there's our feel-good story of the day. And we've got Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, on the program. Hey, Fred.
Hey, Nate's a tough guy to follow. He's a very tough act to follow. He was very interesting. And, man, I'll tell you, I'm sure he understands the demand for his type of business,
right?
Because when these systems fail, man, everything goes up in smoke, and they're fairly easy to fix once you understand it. But if you don't understand it, you're done. You're out in the woods. That's me just about every other day.
I feel the same way about anything handy, Fred. So if my door comes off the track, I have to call somebody to help me out.
All right, same thing. Thanks. I'm glad you understand, Nate. Perfect. Anyway, back to Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We're very busy. It's a great business. I just can't tell you how many jobs we're bringing in weekly. It's amazing, and it's always an optimistic measure that I talk about on this program, but there's nothing inflated about what I'm saying. It's the way it is. And I take the calls, I get the leads, and people call me and they say, why is your company got so many leads? I said, well, look at the reputation of Tampa Screens.
Yes.
And that's what's doing it. And quite often I'll send the bid out, and 2 days, 3 days later, they call, they say, let's go. And a lot of the pricing is non-negotiable by the customer. And that's kind of a nice thing, because when you start negotiating, depending on where the numbers are, there's not typically a lot of fluff in the job. We don't build fluff in there to negotiate. And, when you negotiate the numbers down and you just hope that everything goes well and Murphy's Law doesn't hit during the project so that nobody loses.
Right.
But I'm very, very happy to work with a company like Tampa Screens that has this reputation. And truthfully, it's the reputation that helps my sales more than you can imagine. And, I stop in probably once a week. I don't go into the office typically because I'm out running leads. And Richard's in there, Ricky's in there, Danielle, the mother, it's a family operation. And it's been that way for many years. And, boy, that really matters. When you work with a company that has that type of a reputation and that type of a format going forward, it's very, very pleasant to work with them. And I say that out of all honesty. I do like working with this company. The business is business, and there's always ups and downs. I'm all ready to go and go out there and measure 6 jobs, and the heavens open up, the rain hits, this kind of thing. But that's all part of our program. We can't change that. And of course, when the concrete man shows up to pour a job, the heavens open up. So that's Murphy's Law. That always comes into play. And I'm sure you see that in your business, don't you, Brandon?
Yep. We do have that. We have those challenges. One of the biggest concerns, I think a lot of people, I was kind of flirting with the run at county commission. I've been talking to people about it, and they talk about the permitting. One of the biggest challenges for real estate and construction and contractors is the permitting side of the business, Fred.
Yeah, it's still difficult. We're still behind, and I like to tell anybody it's 8 to 12 weeks to get a permit, no matter which county, whether it's City of Tampa, Hillsborough County, Pasco. But recently we've been getting a couple of the Pasco permits a little faster. So I'm hoping that's a sign of the times where things are going to change, where permits are going to start being released a lot sooner. We hear from the county people that the reason being because of all the construction, houses are going up. Them permits typically go in front of the screen room permit, which I understand.
Yeah.
But I say let's gear it up a little bit. Let's get some more people in there. But then again, it comes back to the fact that a lot of people don't want to work today. That's another situation we're running into, and I think that's going to change within 6 months. So 6 months is going to go by fast. So I think we're going to see some changes in the permitting. I hope it really helps things out if the permitting process goes faster.
Yeah, the labor shortage is a big part of it. Are you still challenged with that? Are you talking to other fellow contractors?
Yes, we are. And a screen enclosure installer is a unique position to be in the construction industry. Not everybody can install screen enclosures. And I watch, of course, I've done some work myself and put about 60 Band-Aids on afterwards. I watch these guys perform, and it is not like framing a house. There's zero tolerance in most cases. You have to have everything cut precise and accurate. And then, of course, once the frame's up, then they have to roll the fabric in. That's an art. That's a work of art, rolling that fabric in. I don't know if any of you guys in the studio have ever tried that. It's not easy. It's not easy to roll it in and keep everything nice and flush and plumb. So these guys are extremely talented to do this kind of work, and I do truly respect the installers in this business. We just wish there were more in the state of Florida.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of the business or the overall economy is we need more skilled trades. We need more folks that are out working with their hands, the muscular class, the blue collar. We need more of that and less of these folks going to these so-called prestigious schools coming back with these Marxist ideas and trying to change the country and the country's all bad and those types of things. But yeah, there's definitely a need for that.
Shut your mouth and go to work, will you guys? Come on,
Nate wanted to comment on that.
Yeah, for sure. And when you consider college now has a 65% failure ratio, 65% of the people that go to it don't graduate. Yep. Why is the hugest push in school, especially in high school, not to teach a skill?
Right.
Leave school with a skill
trade.
if you want to do something else. Great,
Yeah.
but leave with one.
Yeah, get a trade, learn a trade. I know. There's so many businesses and contractors that would hire welders, electricians, plumbers. I mean, they're begging for help out there, Fred.
Absolutely. And let's take welding, for example. Now, that's a tough skill. It's not easy work regardless, and it pays fairly well. But the guy starts with some material and some equipment, and when he gets done, he's got a finished product. You've got to feel good about that. There's this sense of where I created something. That to me, that's a big thing in my life. But in today's world, a lot of these younger people, they that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter what they've created, and that's kind of sad because there's just so much pleasure in seeing something that you're able to create. And the same thing with an electrician. Electricians are magicians in my mind. I watch them come in and I do the work, and they're very educated on obviously they'd have to be on how and where to run the black wire, the white wire, the green wire. And when they get done, they walk away. The product works. They've accomplished something, and to me, there's a big amount of pleasure in that in my life, and it should be that way in a lot of other people's lives. But unfortunately, I don't think it is any longer.
Yeah, and back to the school idea, the universities, a lot of these universities, you're overpaying for a lackluster education in a lot of cases. You're going into exorbitant debt, like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt for some areas. Now, don't take me as a blanket statement. Of course, if you're going to be an engineer, an architect, an attorney, or whatever type of those types of jobs, but when they're taking these fluff classes, poetry, and these different African studies or whatever it might be, those are the ones I'm talking about. That's not really contributing to society as much, except giving somebody a fake diploma on their wall, and then they can say, "Oh, I've got my degree." And then they're also going to school for these jobs that don't really exist. Some of these high-paying so-called jobs that they're promised, they're not existing, Nate.
And we see people coming out of the education system, whether it's technical training or colleges all the time, and there's a lot of talk about work-life balance, which is of course important, but your work-life balance better be as important to you as your pride and accomplishment balance. If you're going to work for our company, there is a certain, as you said, the pride in seeing something done, built, and created, and clients taken care of properly is a personality type as much as it is anything else.
That's right. Fred, final thought to you, my friend. Tampa Screens and Aluminum.
Well, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, no matter what the project is, if you're a homeowner, please, when the representative comes out, make sure that you have the correct, appropriate questions to ask that representative. And even if they're not correct or appropriate, continue to ask, because we appreciate the questions going into a project. I met with a fellow yesterday. He had me there for 2 hours. And I said to him, "You didn't aggravate me at all." He says, "I hope I'm not aggravating you." I said, "You're not aggravating me at all, because when I sign you up, I know we've covered everything."
Right.
And, he got this grin on his face. Before the day was over, I had the contract in my hand.
That's right.
And I appreciate that. I'm a homeowner myself. When I get projects done at the house, as much as I may know, I will continue to ask questions, whether they're redundant or not. I'll ask questions so that everybody knows the answer to the question in case a problem comes up throughout the project. So
that's right.
In the construction business, nothing's worse than a big surprise on the back end. So ask the question. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
All right, Fred Mute, thanks so much, my friend. Appreciate you calling in to the show. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Support the local economy here in Tampa Bay. Nathan Ginter, Vine IT, Dan MENIKHEIM, ProHealth Pest Control. Great show today. Thanks to our team behind the scenes putting it together, all of our listeners, our viewers out there. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.